Good morning, guys. Happy Thursday, happy Art Day, and happy Earth Day. A couple quick announcements before we get started today. A couple key dates that I want you guys to remember. So a week from today, Thursday, April 29th, okay, 1 week from today, next week on Art Day, is your last day to post artwork for the virtual art show. So please make sure that any artwork that we've done for art class this year that you want to share, make sure you have it posted. Make sure you have followed all the directions that we talked about, putting your name, last initial. If you posted a picture and you are in it or there are people in it and it has not been approved, it's because there are people in it. That was one of my rules. No, like you're not supposed to be in the picture with it, with your artwork. So make sure it's just the artwork and your first name, last initial. So all those are due by next week on Thursday. No more work will be approved after that, so make sure you get it in. The launch of the virtual art show is going to be Monday, May 3rd. Super exciting. I'm so excited that you're going to be able to show off your artwork and that so many people will be able to see it. The cool thing is that you will be able to click, it'll be a link, and I will post it in Google Classroom or on Seesaw, but you will click on the link and it will take you to, you can go and look at each school. So if you have a friend at a different school or a family member or a sibling, you'll be able to click on the school, click on the grade, and then search for their name to see their artwork, which is pretty cool. What else? Oh yeah, Mrs. Presnack has a special little surprise that I will talk about next week in my art video, so make sure you pay close attention to that, or for that, I should say. It has to do with a little special surprise that will be the first week of May, and I'm not going to give out any more information, so make sure you listen next week for all the details on that. And I think that's it for my announcements. Let's get started with today's lesson. All right, guys, so this week you're going to be doing a scientific observational drawing. So I'm going to show you some books and some different things that you can use to help you create this drawing, things to do, things not to do, that way you have an idea, and then everybody's going to do their own scientific observational drawing. So scientific, if you think of scientific, right, a few things might come to mind. But think of like nature, okay? Because we want to try to draw something realistic, meaning we want to draw it and make it look as real as possible. So think of like a diagram showing like parts of a plant or parts of an animal or a bug, right? If you had like a drawing of a bug in a book and it was talking about the different parts of a bug, like their antennas or something like that, that would be like a scientific drawing. So I'm going to show you this book. It's called Eggs, Legs, Wings, A Butterfly Life Cycle. So these are scientific illustrations of a butterfly, right? So here's an example right here, this picture, and it has labeled head and thorax and abdomen. So this is a drawing, a scientific drawing of a butterfly. Here's another one of a caterpillar, right? Even on the cover, you see the caterpillar, the egg, the butterfly. This one right here has pictures of different flowers and plants. This is milkweed, which I know you've heard me talk about before. There's more illustrations, scientific illustrations. Bird. So yeah, think nature. Here's the chrysalis. All right, so that's a great example of different scientific pictures. And you could take like a book that has pictures of animals, plants, bugs, insects, different things like that, and look at those pictures to help you draw your scientific drawing. This is another book that I just bought recently, which I'm super excited about. And the illustrations in this book are awesome. Like, so cool. So there's a chrysalis, and that is a scientific drawing, and everything is labeled in there. So it talks about the silk pad, spiracles, wings, cremaster, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce that, abdominal segments, gold dots. So this talks about all the different parts of a chrysalis. So that's a scientific drawing. This one obviously shows the caterpillar wrapping itself up into the chrysalis. So this is a scientific drawing, like illustrating something happening. You don't have to have a drawing showing something happening. You can if you want to, but you only have to draw like one thing. So you could draw a butterfly, a bird, an insect, a leaf. All right, so here's a bunch of illustrations of milkweed plants and the leaves. So again, you can, these are illustrations, so these are not photographs, but you can use a photograph to help you. So maybe you go for a walk outside and you take a picture of a leaf or a tree or some kind of thing that you see outside, and then you take your iPad back home and you look at your picture on your iPad and try drawing it. So I like to work from photographs a lot, and I have, here's a painting that I did kind of recently. So some of it's realistic, like the bee, the flowers, but then the background is something I actually created that background with watercolors and bubble wrap to give it that honeycomb kind of background. So that's like a scientific illustration. And then I have some photos here. So like I said, you can work from photos. These are photos of mine that I have taken of different plants or insects. There's a honeybee, hummingbird. You may have seen this photo before. I feel like I've shared it before. There's another hummingbird. And this is a redbud tree with a bee on it. So I could use a photograph that I already have and draw from that. Another great thing to use to look for scientific pictures are magazines, right? So you want to try and draw something that is realistic looking. I also have a couple books here. You can go to the library and check out books. This book is Draw 50 Endangered Animals. So these are all scientific illustrations and they show you how to do it. So I could look at this picture and then try to draw that. There's all kinds of animals in here. So you could look at a book that has photographs and try to look at a photograph and draw it. And the reason it's called observational drawing is because obviously you're going to be looking at and observing the picture that you're trying to draw over and over. So you look at the picture, try to draw it. Look at the picture, try to draw it. This book, honestly, I just got it because it had a couple leaves in it. And I was like, oh, you could look at those leaves and try to draw them. But then there's other art in here, which is pretty cool. They make different pictures out of leaves. So that's pretty cool. But that's not what you're doing. But that's really cool. And then finally, my last book. This book is called Honeybee. It's all about honeybees. And again, really cool illustrations of honeybees. Like, that's super up close, right? Look at that. Whoa! So books, magazines, photographs, take your iPad and go take photos of some things outside. You could take several photos and then go back and pick out which one you'd like the best. So for this project, I'm going to show you a couple little, I'll do a couple little drawings and show you them, but everybody's is going to be different. I would like you to upload both the picture that you draw and the picture that you were looking at to draw your drawing, okay? You can do this in pencil. You can add color, totally up to you. You can do it, like I said, in black and white and just pencil, or you can add some color to it. I cannot wait to see these. So make sure you upload your pictures into Google Classroom. Here's an example of what not to do. So I use this book for one of my other lessons. This is not realistic, right? These are fish, but they're not realistic looking. They are like more abstract and made up. So don't do this. I want more of a realistic looking drawing, or as much as you can, make it realistic. So I think that is it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. All right, so I talked about how you can use magazines, you can use photographs, You can look online at pictures. You can go out and take some pictures yourself with your iPad and then draw them. I'm going to use some of the photographs that I was showing you before. So I'm going to start with this one right here. And if I want to, if I am using a photograph, I can trace just so I know about the size that I'm going to want it. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to do it because I'm using a photograph, like one that I can hold in my hand. So I'm going to use my box as like a measure to show me where to draw certain things, so I can look and say, okay, there's like this little kind of mark right here, so I'll put that right there. And then a little ways away from that is this leaf, and it goes just a little bit above this right here. And it goes down like that, just about. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw the stem of the flower because it's real close. And I'm just going to keep this drawing in black and white because my photo's in black and white. Now I'm going to kind of draw a rough circle. It's about the size of that one. It's not going to look exactly the same, but like that. And then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to draw this long leaf. Like that. And I can go back in and shade this stuff later. I don't have to do it right now. And you can see some parts are darker than others, right? So this leaf is darker than the stem is. So I'm going to try to make this part darker than my stem. And I could always go and erase this a little bit if I want to make it lighter. All right, now I'm gonna go and start drawing the petals on my flower. So maybe I'll start with little spikes that I have going around the center. So I see right here off of the stem of the flower is one of these little spikes, or actually that's a shadow from the petal actually. All right, now this little thing over here, I don't have to color it. I just kind of originally added that because it would help me draw the rest of my flower. or my picture. So I can add the stuff in the background, but I don't have to. And there is my scientific drawing of my flower. All right, now remember I said you could also look in a magazine. So I found this picture of a plant inside a magazine. And I'm just gonna kind of draw a square, just like I did for my other photograph, to kind of help me with how big it's gonna be. I could use my whole paper if I want to, but, and there we go, or it's more like a rectangle, I guess you could say. But I'm gonna start kind of with the corners, because then that will help me draw the rest of it, just like I did with my other one. So I see there's a line that starts kind of like right here and goes up like that. And then from there, there's like a little line that kind of dips down, points, and then goes like that. And there's a line going this way. And then that's kind of where my flower starts. And then I can go and add color if I want to, or I can leave it black and white. This one I think I would want to go and add color to, just because it helps it pop and look a little more realistic. But that's it. So there's an example from a magazine, and then I showed you my example from my photograph. You can take a picture on your iPad, and I can't wait to see these. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day, guys.